Hey everybody, in this video I'll show you how to play Human Being by the New York Dolls off the Too Much Too Soon record. The song is in standard tuning, and if you have a quick second, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot. And check out my website, scottobryanguitar.com. I have the tab for this song as well as hundreds of other punk, rock, and grunge songs up there, plus some other resources. And here we go. All right, so the song starts off with this intro part, which is basically a descending power chord pattern, and it goes like this. So we're going to start with a power chord with our index finger rooted at the 7th fret of the low E, and our ring finger bridged across the 9th fret of the A and D. Or if you'd like to play it with your ring and pinky, that's fine too. And we are going to start with this chord in this pattern. So there's that kind of stutter drum at the start. And then we're going to drop down one fret. And then back up. Then we're going to move down to a power chord with our index finger rooted at the 5th fret, and we're going to do the same thing. So far we have slowly. And then we're going to move down to a power chord with our index finger rooted at the 3rd fret. And instead of dropping down that one step this time, we're just going to play it straight. Then we're going to go to the E. And then we're going to play a big open E major at the end. So slowly it goes like this. And so on the record it sounds like Johnny Thunders is the one hitting that big open major E, while Sylvain Sylvain's hitting the E up here. And that's just the same form as those power chords. It's an E major, just an octave higher. And you're going to have your index finger rooted on the 7th fret of the A string, and then your ring finger bridged across the 9th fret of the D and G. So they're going to play that at the same time. And then we go into the verse riff, which is actually the same chords as the chorus riff. They're just going to play it a little differently when we get there. So to start off, Johnny Thunders plays his part like this. And then the singing comes in. So that was a little slower than they plays on the record. But what we're doing here is we're going to play with our index finger rooted at the 7th fret of the low E, ring finger at the 9th fret, similar to that power chord, except it's just going to be a 2 note. And then we're going to use our pinky to do these accents at the 11th fret of the A. And then Sylvain Sylvain is going to go up to the E, which is basically the same position, just your root finger is going to be, index finger is going to be on the 7th fret of the A string, and your ring finger is going to be at the 9th fret of the D string this time. So the first chord is, second chord is, and he's going to play that same rock and roll pattern with those accents, just this time at the 11th fret of the D string. So the rhythm goes. And throughout the song, Johnny Thunders does accents over that E chord, the second chord, and Sylvain Sylvain does some variations, but I'm just going to cover, for the most part, Johnny Thunders' part, except for there's one section of the bridge which Sylvain Sylvain's guitar is almost kind of louder, you can almost hear it more. I'll cover what he's playing there. I also think it's pretty interesting. So when we go from the first chord, and then we switch to the E, Johnny Thunders is going to do this kind of trademark type slide accent that he does. So he's going to slide up with his index finger at the 12th fret of the B and middle finger at the 13th fret of the G. And then he's going to accent with his ring finger on the 14th fret of the G. And he's going to do some where he picks it. and somewhere there are hammer-ons. And so that fill is repeated throughout the song, and he plays it a little different each time, but it's essentially the same as this way. So we're going to slide up. So we slide into that position. Then we're going to play with our ring finger down at the 14th fret. So slowly it's. And then he's going to go back to that first chord. And then he's going to play the first beginning of that E chord and do this little accent. So we're going to play the first chord. So it's just a hammer on at the A string, then 7th fret of the D, and then back to 7th fret of the A. A little bit of vibrato, and then just slide up. So that whole beginning part with the accents goes like this. So then that part kind of repeats with Johnny doing those accents again up here at the 12th and 13th fret. And then when he goes back to the E the last time, he's going to play more of the E and just slide up at the end. It's up to like the 17th or 19th fret. It doesn't have to be super accurate. So it goes. And then we're going to go into, I guess you could call it a bridge part. And Johnny Thunders is going to be playing pretty straight chords through this. So he's going to play like a 2-note power chord with his index finger at the 4th fret of the E string and ring finger at the 6th fret of the A string. So, and then he's going to slide up to the 7th fret and play those accent notes again. And then he's just going to go back and forth. So. And then Sylvain Sylvain's going to be playing a pretty cool part that you can hear on the other speaker. Like the Johnny Thunders is panned, I think, left, and Sylvain's panned right. Johnny Thunders has the more distorted guitar, so that's how you can kind of tell them apart. And Sylvain Sylvain, over that part that Johnny Thunders is playing, is going to be playing this part. All right, so breaking that part down, we're going to start with our ring and pinky finger at the 4th fret of the B and E. And then we're going to play just the 2nd fret of the high E. So, and I like to just have my index finger there, so it's kind of already in that position. So we're going to do that kind of back and forth. So, and then we're going to slide into the 4th fret of the E. And then we're going to kind of repeat. Except this time, instead of going back to the double, we're going to go to the 4th fret of the B. And then do this descending. So. And then the pattern kind of repeats with a different ending, so we play that first part again. And then the end is going to be a little different. We're going to want to move up to the 4th fret of the B and E. And then we're going to do a hammer-on pull-off from the 4th to the 6th to the 4th fret. And then back to that descending 2nd fret B, 4th fret G. So it sounds like. Now we're going to slide up to the 12th fret and do this Chuck Berry style bend. So index finger bridged across the 12th fret of the B and E and bending at the 14th fret. And it's real quick, so we go. And then we're going to play this kind of bluesy fill. We're going to go back down with our middle finger at the 2nd fret of the G string, and we're going to play this. So it goes. So second fret of the G, then we're going to hammer on first finger to middle finger, and then high E open twice. And I like to kind of mute in between notes with my hand so that the first one doesn't ring through. But you don't have to do that. And then we're going to do kind of a similar pattern just twice with the hammer on. So that part slowly all the way through is. And then Sylvain Sylvain is going to play that a little differently, of variations of that, but for the sake of this video and time-wise, I'm only going to go over that one version. And so as I said before, Johnny Thunders in the background is playing. And then he's going to do this fill at the end, before we go back to the verse. So basically he's going to stop playing that second chord halfway through. And he's going to go up and basically drone. So he's going to play the 5th fret of the B string and open on the high E. And those are the same notes. He's just going to play them at the same time, which kind of gives us this like cool quality that cuts through. And then he's just going to kind of slide off. So then we go back into the verse, and so we're going to play the first chord. And instead of doing that higher accent, Johnny Thunders is going to do this cool descending kind of hammer on pull-up accent, and it goes like this. So we're going to start off playing the 4th fret of the G and open on the B, which is another one of those drones. Same note. So we're going to play that twice. Then we're going to go to the 3rd fret and open, just briefly, to the 2nd fret. And then we're going to do a hammer on pull up. And then leave off on the open. And then 2nd fret D. And then when we go into the chorus, Johnny Thunders is going to play it kind of 2 different ways. The chorus is the exact same chords as the verse, so it's... But Johnny's going to play it a little differently, so he's going to play that first chord the same. And then he's going to play a low E instead of a high E for the second chord. And he's going to do these kind of bends at the 3rd fret of the open E, which kind of accents the chords. So his part is going to sound like this. And then a lot of times he's going to slide up. And he'll slide up either on the low E, or he can slide up from the 2nd fret of the A. Whichever like sounds cool to you. So it's... So just kind of listen to it and play it how you feel is best. And so the song is basically just kind of a repeating of these parts with just different fills and a few different vocal patterns. And then we get to a bridge later in the song. I think it's around the 3-minute mark. And Johnny Thunders is going to play this little accent, and it goes... So he's basically starting at the normal bridge chord. And then he goes back to the 2nd bridge chord. So this fill, basically you start with your ring finger at the 6th fret of the D. And then we're going to do this kind of ascending pattern. So we're going to play 6, and then 4th, 6th on the G. And then we're going to do some bends. So we're going to hold that note up in a bent position while we play. And then we're going to bring it down. So. So you can hear right before I go to that 4th fret of the G, I'm bringing that 6th fret down. And then he goes back into the chorus. So then we go back to the first part. And this time Johnny's going to be playing some different fills. So the first one he's going. So basically for this fill, he's going to go back and forth like either 2 or 3 times. You can listen to the record to find out exactly. We're going to play a very similar to that other fill we were playing. But we're moving it down to the 7th fret. So our index finger this time is at the 7th fret of the B, and our middle finger is at the 8th fret, and then we're hammering on with our ring finger at the 9th fret of the G. So, and you can listen to the record, do a mix of picking and hammer-ons. And then we're going to slide up to that same accent we did before with at the 12th and 13th fret. And then after a couple times of that, he's going to do this progression. And then he's going to go back into the... And then he's going to slide up and go... So over that first chord, we're going to go... So we're going to do a double stop at the 7th fret of the B and E, then double stop 9th fret G and B, then 7th fret G and B, then single note at the G, 7th fret, then 9th fret of the D. So. And then we're going to do that. And then we're going to slide up and do Chuck Berry style bend. So index finger bridge across the 12th fret of the B string, pushing with our ring finger at the 14th fret of the G. And then we're going to go 14th fret G, then 12th fret G with a bend, or with vibrato. And then at the end, he's going to slide up. And then we're going to go back into the bridge part, and Johnny Thunders is going to play another variation of that first fill he played. So it's a little different this time, but essentially it's the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to play that kind of ascending fill again. We're going to do, starting with the index finger at the 6th fret, and we're going to go. And so instead of ending on the 6th fret of the D like we did last time, we're just going to end on the 4th fret of the G, so like one note before. And then we're just going to repeat that pattern, except this time we're starting at the 9th fret of the D. And then we're going to go back and do the same thing at the 6th fret. And then we're going to go back to the chord that the rhythm's playing. And play about halfway through. And then we're going to do this kind of tremolo picking slide down. So all the way through slowly it sounds. And then we go back into the verse part. And then the rest of the song just kind of repeats. Johnny Thunders plays a lot of the similar style fills towards the end, and it's just a kind of an ad-lib towards the end when it fades out between the two parts. And like, so you can kind of do like a lot of like, and then the slides up in between chords and stuff, so. And, you know, just kind of ad-lib a little bit, add the fills that he's playing before. He does some kind of fills on the E, like just a hammer on pull off at the A string from the 7th to 9th fret to the 7th fret of the D to the 7th fret D and G. And then like in the beginning, he also will end on like the A string. So that's it for this one. I hope you liked the lesson. If you appreciate this content, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot. And check out my website, scottobryanguitar.com. I have the tab for this song as well as hundreds of other punk, rock, and grunge songs up there and some other resources too. And I'll see you guys next time.